Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you how I personally like to mix my beats in the MPC Live 2. Let's get to it. Alright, so this is the beat that we're going to be working with when it comes to mixing and leveling in this video. And here's that beat. Real chill, simple, easy beat. But the thing I'm really noticing about this mix is that the drums are just a little bit too high. The sample sounds good. The 808 maybe can be adjusted, maybe some leveling. But yeah, for my beats, usually what I like mixing first is the drums. So on track 2, this is where all my drums are gonna be. The only drums I was working with in this beat is this kick, hi-hat, snare, open hi-hat, something real simple. But even me just pressing that hi-hat, like it just sounds way too high to me. So before I actually start mixing the drums, what I'm gonna do, I just want my drums to play right now. So I'm going to go to the channel mixer. It's going to be, I'm going to go to main again. If you're on this screen, it's going to be the second button right here. And track 2 is where all my drums are on. So I'm going to mute the third track, which is my 808. And I'm actually going to mute my sample track, which is track 1. So now if I play it back, only the drums are going to be playing. So now since we just have the drums playing, I'm going to hit main and I'm going to hit the pad mixer. Again, make sure to stay on the track where your drums are going to be playing. So I'm going to hit pad mixer, which is the third button down. So now if I play it back, it's going to just have all the drum levels right here. So the process I like doing it is kind of personal preference, but what I like doing is actually soloing each drum one at a time. And usually I start with my kick, so I'm going to start with my kick. I'm going to hit solo right here. It's just that S button. So now the kick is just playing. And I usually like my kick around 3. What I'm doing, I'm just there's different ways to do it. But you can either actually, I think, double click on here. And then this will come up and you can actually level it like that. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select the actual track once and then use this knob right here. And that will lower the level. This is what I personally like doing. Either way works. But yeah, I'm going to start leveling it. I usually like my kicks around 3 dB or -3. So I'm going to keep scrolling up. It's at -3. So next I'm actually just going to solo the snare. If you just hit S, now it should have both the kick and just the snare soloed. So now if I play it back, my snare will be playing. And I usually like my snare somewhat loud. Around like 6, it's actually good right now. It's at like -6 dB, but I'll turn it up a little bit. Depends on how snappy you want it. So I have it at -6. Next, I'm going to do my hi-hats, which is right here. So I'm going to hit solo, select the track. And I usually like it a little loud, nothing too crazy. I mean, this one's sitting right under -9. And the next thing I like to do is actually pan it a little bit over to the left. So if you click where it says C right here, this is actually the panning for this individual drum right here. And I usually just pan my hi-hats to the left, so I'm going to use the knob just to bring it over to the left a little bit. This definitely works better with headphones too, but I'm just using the speakers right now as an example. But yeah, I'm going to bring it over, let's say like -10, which is just -10 to the left. In the last drum I'm going to do, I'm going to solo the open hi-hats. So this doesn't play all the time, so I have to like keep playing the drums. These are definitely way too high. I usually like my open hi-hat a little under my actual hi-hat, so I'm going to lower it just underneath it. You can also pan the open hi-hats if you want, but what I noticed from this sample, I just use this open hi-hat a lot, is that it has somewhat of a stereo sound on it. But again, you can hit the C button, you can move it to the left or right, whichever one sounds better to you. So now the drums sound like this with all the leveling. And I actually might turn that snare a little bit down, like a little bit down. I'm going to bring over my hi-hats a little bit more. This, when you're playing all the drums back, you can do all those little adjustments. So I like how the drums sound, so what I'm going to do is go back to main, and I'm going to go back to the channel mixer. I'm going to unmute these. So honestly from here, like for the rest of the mixing and the leveling, we can actually stay on this channel screen right here, because the only other two things that we're going to be leveling and doing a slight mix and maybe EQ is the track 3, which is my 808s, and the track 1, which is my sample. So what I usually mix in next is my 808. So I just want to hear the drums and the 808 play together. So I'm going to solo the second track, and I want to solo the 808 track, but if you notice, if you press the solo, it's not going to let you solo both tracks. So a quick way to do that is hold shift and then actually hit that solo button. Let me see if I can do it with one hand. So if I hold shift, solo, so now it solos both of them. So I'm gonna play it back. Yeah, my 808 definitely needs to go up. So one thing I'm noticing is that my drums are in the red and they're clipping a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select my drum track, I'm gonna solo it, and I'm gonna bring this left number down right here. I wanna bring it around like -6, -7, just to be safe with headroom for when it comes to mastering and all that. So I'm gonna play it back. I'm gonna bring this down. And if I click that number on the left right here, it's gonna reset the value of the actual given dB. So I'm gonna bring it down. So that's -7. I like that. I'm gonna keep it there. And when you're doing this, you're gonna notice that you're gonna turn your volume up a little bit, which is fine. So now I actually want to play my 808 with the drums, and I want to solo them both. So what you actually have to do on the channel mixer, you're gonna want to press and hold the shift right here, and then click solo. So now both of these tracks are soloing. So now if I play it back, it's gonna play the 808 and the drums together. And honestly, the 808 is at a good level right here. I usually like it a little under my kick, and that 808 is sounding right under my kick. It's around like -6 dB. And if I play it back, let's see where it's given. Yeah, it's saying like -13. I could turn it up a little bit. I think for the 808, definitely just kind of, I know it's kind of corny to say, but like use your ear and whatever sounds right to you. But you do want that kick and that 808 to be hitting at the same time. So I would say like right under the kick. So now I'm gonna actually just unsolo everything. So now all the sounds should be playing together. And I'm gonna mix in the sample. Again, everything's kind of, this sample is a little lower. Yeah, the sample is a little lower in level, but I think with this, again, you want to use your ears, but usually with like hip hop and trap kind of beats, you want those drums to be hitting in the 808, but you also do want to have the sample to be playing, you know, you want to actually hear the sample. So I have this around, let's see, this one's around -26, and I'll bring it down a little bit even more. Yeah, so this one's, yeah, -25. But yeah, I can't stress it enough. You just want your kicks and that 808 to be hitting, because that's really the most important parts when it comes to the, you know, hip hop tracks and trap tracks. But yeah, so I usually start my drums, 808, and then the sample. But yeah, I hope this video helped. Let me know if you have any more questions regarding if it comes to mixing or anything with the MPC Live 2. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.